You know, we got to smile because I want to start by saying this journey we're about to tell you won't be possible without God. Like, it won't be possible without the faith of God. And the reason why we chose to record this, because this is a situation that we feel there's a lot of people going through. And sometimes when a lot of people go through situations, they just go through it by themselves. And then when they pass through those situations, they don't pass through what they did. I want to start by saying we had faith in God. Like, we literally have been praying since 2024. But let's start with the good parts, yeah? You know, I'm just sat in my office, minding my business, and my wife walked in.
Yeah.
And yeah, she announced that she was pregnant.
I'm pregnant. So that was the 16th of January of this year. Yeah.
And yeah, it was exciting.
After 4 years.
After 4 years, because obviously we have Jordan Jr., our firstborn, the best boy in the world, of course. And after 4 years, God decided, it's time, because every pregnancy is God's plan. And we were excited. We were celebrating. As you can see, it was good times, right? And it was an exciting feeling to be like, we're gonna be moms and dads again. Is it gonna be a boy? Is it gonna be a girl? You know how exciting it gets, right? But I kind of expected it because I had a dream about, so I was excited.
I did like 5 or 6 tests to see if it was real or not.
Is that the sounds of mommy coming to the big boy squad? Yeah, that's mommy coming to the big boy squad. There you go. Do you know my man has been eating all by himself?
No.
Yeah, big boy Jordan has been eating all by himself. Yeah? Good, yeah? Juste what? All right. Come on. Come on, big boy Jordan, come on.
The garden.
You are joking. You mean this salad is from our own farm, our own garden, for real?
Yes.
Bamba clotted.
Saying shit? What did you say, Jordan?
It's nice.
Good morning. The morning after. You want to say good morning?
Good morning.
Yeah, last night was amazing. It's the morning after. Alright. Jesus Christ. The woman is like, I'm gonna help people, and there's someone who's like, let's help me. That's the way let's go.
Thank you.
We thank God, right?
Thank you.
Hey mommy, what do you have to say? We thank God, right?
No, I thank God for Jordan. This is Jordan's whole unit of 17,000 acres of land. And we are just in one small portion, and we want to thank God so immensely for what God has done, because without God nothing can happen.
Without God nothing can happen. That's the shit. So there's now 10 weeks of celebrating, and obviously we are excited, just chilling, just relaxing, having a great time in the house.
I was coming out from the shops. And I was in the kitchen trying to put everything back in the fridge and everything. And all of a sudden I feel a glitch around my, I feel like I'm getting wet. I felt like I thought I peed on myself, or I don't know. So then I go to the toilet and I realize I'm losing a liquid, but it's like a kind of slimy liquid, so I don't really know what's happening, and all of a sudden is followed by blood. So all of this is at 10 weeks. Then I go and see my husband in his office. I said, Jordan, I'm bleeding. And I can see on his face, he's taking it very seriously. Then we go. He drove me to the hospital. And what happened in the hospital?
When we went to the hospital, I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be as real as possible. You know, I feel like I grew up with a lot of doctors in my family and friends who are doctors, and I just feel like certain private hospitals have changed. The private hospital we went to, I just felt like when we went there, it was very cold to start with. You know, for something that's happening, if you are a pregnant person going through bleeding in your 10 weeks, this has never happened before. There's a way, psychologically, you're stressed out, you don't know what's happening. And the lady took my wife for a check. She said I couldn't come into the room. I was like, it's fine, I'll sit here and wait. I need to come, she had a conversation with us. And the advice she gave us was so hardcore that as we started, if we didn't have belief of God, we would have walked it out of there thinking, she literally said, I'm just going to be as hardcore as possible. She said, there seems to be a wound on the membrane that's bleeding, and it's her opinion that she should carry a procedure which is called scraping. Now, for people that don't understand, scraping is literally scraping the baby out of my wife, because in her opinion that it was going to lead to my wife's life. My wife's life was on the line, right? That's not even looking at any other solutions. That's what she said, right? And
without any scan or anything.
Without any scan or anything. And then we said, all right, can we get a scan? We actually asked, can we get a scan? So we decided to go and have a scan in the same clinic, in the same private clinic. We're upstairs having a scan with this doctor who looks at the scan and then says, I can see this little, wound and there's little bleeding, but the baby's fine. Everything's fine. He gives us a different thing. We go back downstairs. The lady still recommends this and says, should we check you in? Like we should. So I said, no, you guys send me an email. We're going to have to sit at home, make a decision and come back. So
she sent you a quote.
She sent us a quote. She sent us a quote. Yeah, she sent us a quote to do this, carry on this procedure. And this is where faith in God becomes strong, because my wife and I and my son Jordan, we started praying. We literally started praying because I already knew. And I saw my wife, weeks ago. I already knew this was an attack. I knew we were being attacked. So we started praying, put our knees down, Psalm 91. We started praying. We said, Heavenly Father, God, please interfere. Please interfere. Because at this point, I already knew that we need God's interference to make things happen.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is Jordan. Has no time.
We were disappointed with the first private clinic. We decided to find another private clinic, local one, and we went to see this other doctor whose name was listed, and he had so much good references online. So we went there, and of course there were a pack of people waiting. So we waited for
4 hours.
4 hours. 4 hours we waited. Yeah, and when we finally saw the doctor, she wasn't the actual doctor we were going to see, because the doctor we were going to see is not there. So she's just like replacing it. It's okay.
So we can see a doctor.
Yeah. She did a check on my wife. And we told her what the other doctors said to us about the scraping. She said, that's the worst thing to say at that stage, that, scrap that idea. That shouldn't be what we should be doing now. And she had faith. She was like, you know what, by the grace of God, we should just, it'll be positive.
And now we're in the office with the doctor. She's checking me. She's doing this scan. Do you call it scan?
Yeah.
We see the baby. We see that the baby is growing fine. But she see like a kind of hematome.
Yeah, she does.
And she said there is blood accumulating on the baby here, but everything is fine. So we we can keep on going with the pregnancy. Everything is good. We went for another check. 3 weeks later, everything was still fine. So we were given progesterone, I think, to make sure to try to recover the how do you call it, the placenta. So she gave us progesterone.
Yeah.
And then she gave us another kind of progesterone where you put it inside, and it's not natural because it's still progesterone. But she said it could be helpful. We took it like for a week or two, and then we stopped it. We don't really believe in medicines. So
Yeah.
My head, I'm like, I don't know if it is it's harming the baby or if it's good, because I don't see any difference. I'm still bleeding.
Yeah.
And I also bleed. I'm bleeding more, and it's brown, and it's red, and it's brown, and it's red. And you can see there is clot coming with the blood, and from it stopped for 2 or 3 days, and then your mom came.
Yeah, my mom came. We were so happy. She was coming to celebrate, and she's coming on holiday and also celebrate the fact that Sarah was pregnant, and she's also coming to have a break. And because we have a huge property there, it's like feel free to come. Not all of you, but feel free to come. So she was coming to have a break, and it was good. We had such a great time together, and one day. We decided to go to town, and we went to we stayed at a hotel. We booked a hotel in town. That night, you were still bleeding, right?
Yeah.
That night, you were still bleeding. The next day, when we got up, we went to Monte Casino, and then we just went around, and it was the funniest thing because my mom kept saying. Because my mom owns a college in Cameroon, so she kept saying, I'm going to see someone, one of my students, I want to see someone. And we walked past this restaurant, and we were looking for other restaurants, and we came back to this restaurant, this Indian restaurant, and we walked in the restaurant and sat down. Literally, as soon as we sat down, someone just came walking and said, Antieda! And that was Prudence. Prudence walked in with her daughter and her husband, and it was like, out of all the people in the world, it was like, out of all the places in the world, we were there just like drinking, having a great time, taking pictures, as you can see. And the next day, they called us to invite us to their house. And I had to turn it down. I'm sure she doesn't actually know, because obviously at that point, she doesn't actually know you're pregnant as well. Yes, so I had to turn it down because...
She knew. You could see it. Yeah, you could see it.
Did she know? Okay, cool. So
because my belly was starting
to show. Yeah. So we didn't tell her why we said no to the invite, because you were literally, there was bleeding happening, so we just couldn't risk driving all the way to her and then something happens. And honestly, this is why I say listen to God. Sometimes God speaks to you in a low voice and says, don't do it, don't go, go. Like you will hear that voice. And please get familiar with that voice. That's how you get that relationship.
So it's still kind of bleeding, The bleeding I had at this moment is very important to say it, because it was bleeding like periods. So my pads will be like foolish, but it's not like what's gonna happen after. So after we went to, and Jordan declined this invitation, we all went to bed. You were with your mom. I went to put Jordan in bed, our son, and then I got up in the middle of my sleep. I was wet. The bed was wet, but it was water. Like I thought I peed on myself or something happened. As soon as I stood, I feel a gush of water and blood all coming out together. In my head, I'm like, no, that's the baby going down. It can't be anything else. This is the end of this pregnancy. I go and call my husband in the guest house, and both of them are looking at me shocked, because they can see on my trousers there's blood. They can see me. I'm panicking, and Jordan decided to call a taxi, and we were going at that time to another hospital. Yeah,
it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We just found the nearest hospital. In fact, I called one of the doctors. That doctor was like, I'm going to be on my way, and he didn't come. So we just drove to the hospital. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning. We drove to the hospital. When we got there, this is an emergency situation, another private hospital. And this is not like public hospitals, another private hospital. When we got there, same situation, right? Nobody took this as it was just nonchalant.
Yes.
But they took us in, took my wife in, and then they started.
Again with this thing that open you.
Yeah.
How to call it? The spectrum, or I don't know how you call it.
Yeah.
So they put it inside you and they open to see if your cervix is still there or not.
Yeah.
The cervix was there, but they didn't know what was happening. So they say from that moment, they said in 24, 48 hours, this pregnancy is going to be finished. So they gave us this result or diagnostic, like I have to stay in the hospital one night in the hospital because the baby's gonna come out.
The thing is, they wouldn't do an echography.
Yeah.
And that was the issue. The doctor in charge said categorically he's not qualified to do it. He's not a gynecologist. We need to call our own gynecologist that works for that same clinic. They tried to call her. She was asleep. At this point, my wife is still bleeding, right? And they just said...
And panicking too.
I'm panicking. Everyone's under stress. But they didn't seem under stress. All they seemed under was like, hey, let's book you in, spend $45,000 for the night. And then just like, I said, look, the money's not an issue. The problem is the baby and the mum are the issue. And why is everyone not concerned? So... honestly, while I was sat there waiting, it's like God spoke to me and said, you need to put your foot down now. If you don't, these people are just going to get away with murder. You need to put your foot down. So I literally, I'm sorry for that parry clean. I went all hell loose, to be honest. I just literally said, I brought everybody in, the nurses, the doctors, I said everyone in. I said, you guys need to do this now because this is how mistakes happen in hospitals. And then when everyone walks out there and says, oh, I'm really sorry. No, the mistake could have been prevented. I said, right now, there's a mistake happening. You all know it. And you all are so relaxed about it because you're used to nobody complaining. If anything happens, it will be this head on the line. And you know what? That's why I keep saying in this story, God is strong, right? It's like God spoke through me to these people. These doctors who were nonchalant first just got up. They woke up. This one of these doctors, and I thank you, I forgot what your name is. He said, I'm calling your gynecologist until she gets here. I'm not allowed to do this, but if your gynecologist doesn't get here, I will do this myself because I'm a general practitioner and I'm not allowed to do echographies because if I give you the wrong information, I could be sued. So you need a gynecologist here. So anyway, this guy relentlessly went from just laid back to getting on the phones, calling the gynecologist consistently until the woman picked up the phone and said, oh, you know, I was sleeping. The one said, the guy said, get up from your sleep, come to the hospital now. I don't care what you're doing, come to the hospital now. So that's how the woman turned up, right? So when she turned up...
She brought this big machine that you do ecography with. So this one was the one of... They could see properly what was happening. And then she put it on my... no, she did the spectrum first. She said, oh, it's closed. The cervix, it's closed. So then she went to do the echography. And she said... what she said?
She said... she actually made a comment, and I'll never forget. She was like, this baby is giving us headache. She's giving us, that was what she said, right? And then she said, like it's 50-50. We don't know. And then in that moment, my wife went to the toilet. And when I remember this very well, when she went to the toilet, it was like, what came out of her wasn't just blood, it felt like it was a piece of me. It felt like it was like a membrane that came out of her. And at this point, this lady said to us,
it's gonna finish.
It's gonna finish in a few hours. In a few hours, because that's a ruptured membrane. I mean, this is what she said.
And she said there's no liquid at all.
Yeah.
The whole liquid was out. So at this time here, there's the baby on my womb with no liquid around. And everyone knows how liquid amniotic is important for pregnancy. That's helped the baby to grow, to breathe, to develop his lungs and everything. So at that moment, there is no liquid at all.
So I'm just at this point just praying to God, please save her life. Save this child's life. My wife's praying, we're all praying. We're leaving that hospital at that point, thinking it's only through faith that will get us through. I didn't want to have no conversation. I was just like, I'm now just gonna, and this is me now. You know, sometimes when you're going through the highest problem in the world, and you're now like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm like, I'm in direct conversation with God right now. I'm like, I'm not listening to nobody, no doctor. So we drive back to the house. My mom was there. Mom was looking after Jordan. And obviously Jordan was also startled because he was like, Jordan is her little son. He's now 4 years old. He was 3 years old then. He's in the house. He doesn't know what's happened at 3 a.m. in the morning. We've just been out, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it just feels like chaos, right? So we come back and I literally, my mom's now with Sarah. And just my mom, before she had a journey as a lawyer and before she got into business and colleges and primary schools and all that stuff, when she was in London, she was a midwife, right? So that's how she started. She started as a midwife. So she's seen a lot of things. So at this point, what she's seen, don't forget, this is like in the 70s, she was a midwife, in the 70s. So she's old school, right? She's seen a lot. So what she's seen is capable of saying to Sarah, she's like, you know what, don't worry, whatever happens, it's God's will, At this point, I am in the office, right? And I'm literally just talking to God directly, right? And I'm saying, and God is saying to me, you've got to leave now. Like, you've got to leave now.
And his mom at this day was going back to her country because she came on holidays.
Yeah.
So at that moment, she had to travel to the next day.
The
same day.
That day was 3 in the morning. Yeah, it was 4 in the morning.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
So she had to travel that day. And so I'm now online looking for flights to Paris. Because I'm like, look, where can we have a good hospital, right? I'm looking at Mauritius, to Dr. Bibi Jean, who gave birth to Jordan, and I was in touch with him, and I'm looking at London, and we ended up with Paris, and Sarah's sister, Elsa, and Elsa, if you're watching, she was amazing. Elsa is on the phone to my wife, just kind of like looking at hospitals, right? Looking at hospitals that we can go into, and my wife at this stage doesn't know I'm looking for flights to Paris at 4 a.m. to go on that same day. My wife is speaking to Elsa on the other side, talking about whether they should leave to go Paris right now. I'm on the other side looking for flights. This conversation, this is how God works, right? So imagine, Elsa now, I text Elsa, and Elsa is like, yeah, I think it'll be a good idea, right? And I find that they've all been talking, we're all talking about the same thing.
I text Jordan, I said, babe, I think it's a crazy idea, but maybe we should. He said that I'm booking
the tickets right now. So I'm trying to book the tickets of all the things in the world that happened. This never happened before. On the booking.com website, they just say the French are going on strike. Right? Literally, this minute I'm about to, this is not, that's why I say this attacks on the devil. This minute I'm about to book tickets for France, it says, don't book any tickets to France. This happened just now. People are going to be going for a strike now. So the airlines are not going to be functioning. I'm like, this is an attack, right? So I sat there and God reminded me of, if you saw in the first intro of this, you saw the bird. And God reminded me that there was a strange bird that came to the house, right? And came to my office door and was just knocking the door for 7 days straight. Sarah texted me and said, "It's a bird here looking for you." I'm like, well, in London, a bird is a girl. So what are you talking about? Like, what bird is looking for me? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what bird? So I'm like, anyway, I said, give the bird food. And she tried to give the bird food. The bird wouldn't eat. The bird wouldn't interact with any other birds. The bird would come every day at the same time knocking on the door. And it got me thinking that bird was a sign. That was like God saying, an angel saying, hey, you're going to be attacked. Get ready. And God will always show you signs. That's what I want to say to you. God will always show you signs. So at this point, God said, this attack of this French Revolution, don't listen to it. Book the flight, book the flight. And then I found the flight. And we were leaving at the same time as my mom to the airport, right? We got to the airport and I said to Sarah, pretend that there's nothing. At one point she's in pain and she's bleeding at the same time, right? And we're going to fly from Paris to Egypt and then Paris. And I could see the airline staff looking to say, what is going on with that woman? Like, because you know, you're not allowed to fly if you're in a medical situation that could cause an emergency on a plane, that could bring the plane down in an emergency. So they have to look to see whether you're good enough to fly. So I'm saying to Sarah, just pretend. Like, just pretend you had a broken ankle, and then we're gonna bring someone. So she pretends to have a broken ankle, because broken ankle is just a broken ankle. And we actually ordered a chair, for a pushchair on either side, for them to push her through until she gets to the plane, and then in Egypt, push through. By the grace of God, we pushed through the plane. Even in the plane, you're bleeding still. We push through and we get to the airport. And Sarah's sister's Mariam, thank you, Mariam, was waiting for us at the airport.
And we went straight to the hospital.
And we literally drove straight to the hospital, Port Royal Hospital, panicked. We walked in there and it was just like, we thank God. As soon as we walked into Port Royal, we had a meeting with them. Everybody just jumped into action. It was just like...
It was so fast, actually. We went to this hospital. So it's a hospital well known for maternity, pregnancies, all kind of level of emergencies when you're pregnant. So we went to it. They asked us the story, we told them the same story that we've been telling you. And then I did a blood test. As soon as I stepped in, I did a blood test, urine test. Someone took me to a room, checked me down and checked me and did an echography. So the result was there is no liquid. The liquid didn't come back at that time, so still no liquid. So they said to us, we have to keep you, because they were scared not for the baby, that any afflictions happen. So they weren't looking to save the baby or anything at that moment. So we're just looking to make sure my health was a priority. Like nothing will happen to me. They were expecting at the hospital that the baby will come out in the next day or 72 hours, like for between 24 and 72 hours.
So this condition is called PPROM, aka PROM, right? There's something that I'm not gonna lie, I never knew until this situation. And a lot of people are going through this. PROM is preterm rupture of the membrane. And the membrane is the most important part that looks after the baby. The baby needs to swim. The baby needs to have that water in the membrane to be able to grow, for the lungs to grow and everything else. When this is ruptured, you are at a huge risk. Not just the baby, which is at a major risk. The pregnant woman is at a huge risk, because you have, if you have, I don't want to be graphic, but if you have a baby in there, sometimes the baby are not alive, right? And they could be there for ages and ages, and it's like having something in your system that your system doesn't react to, and it could cost your life as well. So it was a life and death moment. And at this point, I'm traveling. Sarah has to be hospitalized. Jordan, our son, has to be like, what are we doing here? And then I'm traveling back and forth from London to Paris, and London to Paris, because we have the TV awards in Paris, we have the film awards, we have the businesses all across. This is unplanned, right? I have businesses across, I have staff all across saying what's happening here, and I have to keep this a secret. You find out when you're going through this kind of issues, life still goes on. People still, clients are still there, customers, business. You have to get things going. But the most important thing was we had faith. It all comes back to faith. Sarah and I started listening, and Jordan Jr. and the baby, we all started listening to gospel music more.
Yeah. But I stayed a week in the hospital before being okay.
Yeah.
So we stayed a week. So they told me before leaving the hospital, they told me, okay, it's been a week, I get the antibiotics, medicine, I had intravenous, I had a lot of things that were happening. And they say to me, okay, you're free to go home, there is no infections. And then, I don't know if it existed, but in France, you have this luxury. People will come to your house when you're in a kind of
Emergency situation. Yeah.
So we had a nurse after that coming 3 times a week. I will have 2 blood tests a week and 1 urine test and vaginal test actually. So they were, it was a lot. So at the beginning of the week they would check my blood, at the end of the week they would check my blood to see that there is no infections, because the most scariest thing about this whole pregnancy is they call they tell you are open. So your body is open to anything.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful. You can't, when you take a shower, you have to be very careful too about the soap you're using and all of this, because anything can get inside you and give you an infection actually, because you're open, as they call it open. I don't know.
And yeah, you're open. You can get infections, and the baby can get infections because you're completely open, and then obviously you're bleeding at the same time on a daily basis.
And all of this happened at 15 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was 15 weeks plus 2 days when I arrived in France. When I left the hospital, we were 16 weeks plus 2 days because we stayed a week. So they don't care about the baby at that time, because the baby in France, there's something that they have rules that they will only take a baby in charge from the 23rd or 24th week, and the baby has to be more than 500 grams and certain conditions to accept the baby, so they can say, okay, it's reasonable now to take you in charge, or it's not reasonable now to take you in charge. So, but for them, from 16 to 23 weeks is a lot of weeks.
Yeah.
Like even for us, it's like, in my head, I was like, if it's not with God, how I'm gonna make it to 23 weeks?
Yeah.
Private dance.
Right.
Then we look at it, I would be ashamed.
No. So now we are being called in the office of the doctors, with like 6 or 7 doctors in front of us, having a meeting with us, a serious meeting, an urgent meeting, an emergency meeting, for us to make some decisions. And they say to us, as everyone said before, you shouldn't keep on with this pregnancy.
You shouldn't.
And they advised big time not to do it. All 7 doctors were like, the baby can come out, malfunction, there could be, complications. And you got to understand, it sounds different saying this now because obviously, you're about to see the outcome. But the point is, at the point of stress and pressure, 7 doctors who you consider as being experienced telling you all of this, I don't care who you are, you're mentally
you have to be strong. I'm not gonna lie to you, because oh my God, it's like all this negativity that you're taking in.
Negativity.
No one is thinking about how heavy it can be for the couple that's going through, the woman as in the man, because we came into this pregnancy together.
Yeah.
And they're saying to you, your child can have his arm can be shorter because we can't see his arm, his legs, his heart, his lungs, this, that. And it's okay to tell people because we need to have the information too, so we know what we're gonna we're going through too. But at the same time, you can say but we've seen some cases in the past, but I understand they are doctors. They can't sell you dreams, because if they tell you something and it didn't happen the same way that they told you, maybe they can be sued or anything.
But my advice on that is that there has to be a balance.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, psychologically, I think a lot of people have made the wrong decisions
Yes.
because of what they've been told by doctors at a stage where a doctor will say to you, it's over. And that's based on you as a human being. And again, I want to put this out there to a lot of people. We are spiritual beings having a human being experience, and the spiritual being side of it is a connection to the source, and God is spiritual. That's the reason why Jesus was sent as a body form. The reason I'm saying this is that do not keep believing what body people tell you, as in other human beings still tell you. Believe in God. Mm-hmm. So when me and my wife heard this, right, we had already been entrenched in a belief in God and saying, whatever happens, God will take us through.
Definitely.
Right? My son's the same. Right? My son was praying 24/7. My wife's praying 24/7. We just got on our knees and kept on praying. And it's the power of God.
Yeah.
You know?
If you don't, at that moment, if you don't have God, you will be down. Like you will feel the worst. Like you will have the
100%.
worst feelings ever.
100%.
At that moment, even me having God, sometimes I will think about what they said, and in my head I'm like, I will get weak moments, you know. But then my faith will take back of it, and I will come back stronger after everything they say to us. So after that, after those meetings, I'm still leaking. So it never stopped. Never. At the beginning, it was small leaking. It would be once, twice a week, and then the more the baby was growing in my womb, the more. So as they said, liquid amniotic is urine of the baby that it's renewed all the time. So the more she was growing, the more she will urine, and the more it will go straight down. It won't stay in the womb. So the whole pregnancy I've been through zero liquid, or a little bit, but even them they say it's not even enough to do anything with. So I've been through ecography, going back to the hospital, monitoring this, that for like how many weeks?
It was a lot of weeks.
It was a lot
of weeks.
So now we have arrived at the 23rd weeks, that the weeks where I was waiting for. It's been so long, yeah. So I'm in the hospital because I had to go to the hospital, because once a week I had to go to the hospital. All the doctors are coming into my room, so I do the blood test, the ecography, and then after that the doctors give me the results. So the doctors were working for the antenatal department or service. They came to my room where I was waiting for them, and they say to me, even though the baby is growing, you're on 30, is the 23rd weeks, the week we were waiting for, we're still not approving this pregnancy, just to let you know. 24th weeks, they say the same thing. And now 25 in France, there's a law that you can't do anything now. You can't get rid of the baby. You have to go through it anyway. 25, they say, now, do you still want to go through it? I said, of course. And then they said, okay, we give you our approval now. In my head, it's like, thank you, God. Like, finally.
Yeah.
So if the baby comes now, so remember, if the baby came before, they will not do anything for the baby to try to save the baby, because they weren't approving the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So if you get to go to the emergency because you're giving birth, they will save you, not the baby.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the baby can be born, but they won't try to do anything for the baby. So 25 weeks now, they said, okay, if you give birth now, we will try to save the baby. They will try to save the baby, so they will try.
Yeah, you will try.
Try.
So they can't guarantee anything.
So in your mind, again.
Yeah.
So 26, 27, 28, 30, we're still going stronger. Still the same conditions. Bleedings, monitoring, blood test, is like, it has never changed. I've been bleeding the whole pregnancy. Even though it stops, at a certain moment it will come back, and I will have to go to the emergency to check on the bleeding, because any bleeding can mean the work has started. So I have to go for any bleeding. I have to go to the hospital. So it was long. 30 weeks happens. I'll go to the hospital. Everyone is congratulating me. I'm talking about the nurses, not the doctors. Congratulations, you made it through. Honestly, it's been a long journey. So from 15 weeks to 30 weeks. So we've been doing 15 weeks without any liquids. and the baby is still growing. So all the nurses are congratulating me. We're still going through the same process, and we're still doing my ecography. Oh, you don't have liquid at all. Okay, going back home. So now we're still doing monitoring at home, because before that the monitoring was very short. The baby, they were checking him 10 minutes, but now they were checking the baby 30 minutes in a row. So sometimes the baby will have a glitch in his heart, so his heart will go down like this. And as soon as it happens, they will tell me to go into hospital and go do another check to see if the baby is fine. And then I will go, everything's fine. So the day after I start bleeding, so they sent me back into the emergency. So 2 days in a row I'm going to the emergency. At that time I'm 33 weeks pregnant. So we made it through 33 weeks pregnant. So the little baby has been more without liquid than with liquid in my womb. We go to the hospital, they do a check. And I'm telling them, she wants to check me down with the spectrum again. I said, but we did it yesterday. I don't think you should check me again, because I was scared to have an infection with all of those spectrum checking.
That can happen.
Yeah. And then she said, okay, I'm not going to check you. As soon as I get dressed and about to open the door to leave, she said, no, wait, I'm going to check you. She checks me. And then I can see on her face something is happening. She said, but you're open. You 2 centimeters, 2 fingers open. I said, really? Me at that moment, I'm asking her, but does it mean the baby's coming? She said, no, some women can stay weeks with 2 centimeters pregnant. So I said, okay, so now they're putting me in a room and they do the monitoring again. But the monitoring stayed for an hour, 30 minutes. And my husband and my son were waiting for me in the waiting room. So the doctor come and see me because now I'm having contractions. I had a few contractions the days before, but nothing serious. They were like every 20 minutes. But they say to you when you have contraction every 7 to 10 minutes, you have to go to you have to monitor it, because maybe you're going to give birth. So now it's happening every 10 minutes, the contraction. I see the doctor that's been following my case since day one coming to me. He's called Dr. Souza. He look at me and say, Madam, we're gonna keep you tonight. You're not going home. In my head, I'm like, oh no. I was just thinking about leaving my son again, my husband, and staying one night in the hospital, because I've been like, before that, they gave us shot of corticoids. I forgot to tell you this thing. At 25 weeks, when they give you the approval, they give you this shot of corticoids to help to develop the baby lungs.
Yeah, baby's lungs.
Yeah. So in my head, after that, I've been hospitalized again for 3 weeks of, well, not 3 weeks, for 4 or 5 days. Remember, you were in London, and then you had to come in the emergency to look after our son.
Now, it's the 24th August 2024. At this point, I'm producing the British Restaurant Awards in like 3 days in London. I'm meant to be in London. God's made me change my tickets, my flights, literally my tickets 3 or 4 times. Every time I'm about to go to London, I'm extended a day. I knew something was happening. My son calls it out and says, you know, the baby's gonna come, right? And my wife was like, no, it's got to be full term. Let's try and push this to full term. We're on the 24th of August. It was even funny because we were sat in the hospital, and my wife was calling her mom to say, look, go and look after Jordan while the other Jordan, which is myself, I could stay in the hospital. And we were thinking we're just going to be there for a few days, right? It literally took 30 minutes. Like,
no, but actually, before this, because they were coming and check on my pain, but because I had endometriosis before, so when you have periods, your pain are very painful. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, on 1 to 10, what is your pain? 6. So they were leaving the room and said, okay, we'll come back in a few hours. And then at a certain moment, the doctor said to Jordan, go take her for a walk out there. So I went for a walk, but my contractions now, I couldn't even speak of it. So we went for a small walk. We came back in the room. Jordan said, you should call them. I said, no, I don't think I should call them. It's still not that painful. And then we called them. And from that moment, I saw a chair next to the door. I said, babe, this chair was there before. He said, it wasn't there. So I understood that something was happening. He said on the shed, do not touch. So it was in front of my room. And then I called the nurse. The nurse came and said, how is your pain? I said, I think like it's a 8 or something. They put me on this chair. And now they took me to the theater. It's called like the theater, the labor room.
Yeah.
From that moment, since they put me on that chair, the contractions were mad. Like, they were... I've never been in such a pain, because for our first son, I had the epidural. Like, after 2 hours of pain, I said, I'm done. Give me the epidural. This time, I was feeling everything. Take me to the theater. They said, do you want the epidural? Of course I wanted. I'm in such a pain. So this guy is doing the epidural. It's taking ages to do it. And my body is like just shaking. My body is shaking. And I see water coming out of me. My head, I'm like, what is happening now? I understood that the baby is about to come. As soon as the water broke, I feel something pushing inside me.
Wait, I'm now, before you move, I'm now upstairs with Jordan Jr. And Jordan Jr. now goes to sleep, because obviously all this is happening so fast. He was crying a little bit because he was playing with his mom. He and his mom were actually drawing cartoons, as you can see here.
Good, makes sense. Okay. Good. Now control your pain. You can't go silly. You have to control it. And then here, when you go to the border, you go gently.
Jumpy, mommy. Where is it from? But it's Darcy. Darcy.
What makes you feel goodbye? You know, maybe the last time you just shoot and me and Dada. Today you're gonna have Lisa. Today you're gonna have Lisa.
Yes. And this one.
Then I feel like my tummy gonna be brown.
I've never seen that before. Have you? I thought it was my hair. It's okay, baby. You shouldn't be ashamed of crying. It's fine, baby. Okay. Yeah? No one is judging you here.
So he's crying a little bit and he's gone to sleep now. And I'm walking out to say to the nurse, can you look after Jordan Jr. while I go and see what my wife is going through in theatre? And she was like, I can't, she was saying, she gets a phone call to say, go tell the husband to come down now, right? And she was like, all right, cool. She went and looked after her and sent another nurse with me to go down to the theatre. I'm walking in the room and I'm just hearing my wife pushing, right?
I was, honestly, the epidural never worked.
Never worked. It never set in.
Because it took 20 minutes to work. But it was too late. I was already in the, as soon as I stepped in this room, I was already in labor. So the work was starting already. So I'm pushing now without any epidural. So I didn't know I could shout like this. I didn't know I could scream like this. It was a pain that I've never experienced before.
Mad.
So I could feel everything coming out of me. So I'm pushing. But even if I don't want to push anywhere, the baby is getting down. So I'm pushing, the baby is getting down. But because she wasn't her head down, we forgot to mention this, she wasn't her head down. So the whole thing, she was sitting like this. On my bed.
So I am now, I can say I have a better vision of what I saw than my wife, because my wife's now laid back, pushing in pain, really pushing. All I'm seeing coming out, I'm not gonna lie, it was first what that came out was it looked like it was like alien, right? And in my head, I was just like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And obviously doctors were used to this, right? But because she wasn't coming out from my head, she was coming out from my bum.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm used to seeing, the last time I pulled Jordan out myself, right? From I pulled Jordan out myself. So I'm used to pulling the head. So what I'm seeing coming out bloody, it doesn't look like the head. And they pushed that out until we got to see.
They asked her to stop pushing out so they can grab the baby. Because the baby, her legs was like this, and this is her butt, so her butt. So they couldn't grab her. So they asked me to stop so they can grab her baby.
Yeah.
Because they had no other way of holding this baby. They asked me to stop in mind. I'm like, how can I stop this? So I just like pretended to hold the pee or doing something. And then they said, now you have to go through the strong one because now it's the head. Because she didn't come her head first, so this is you have to be very fast because now she needs to go out straight. I'm pushing, is the last push. So I feel the whole thing coming out of me, and I just heard a small noise. But as soon as she came out, they put her on me, and my husband cut the
umbilical cord. Yeah.
And as soon as they cut it, they took the baby away from us.
Yeah, straight away. Now they were taking the baby for what they call reanimation, because they take the baby. Although she was breathing, they had to now try and make sure she was consistently breathing artificially, right? So I'm now gone to that process now in the corridor of the hospital, and I'm like, there's 3 doctors literally trying to get her free, and I'm seeing all this live. You got to understand. I don't wish this on anybody else, but you know. It takes a lot of God. It takes a lot of God, I believe, to sit there and watch all of this happen live and direct. And by the grace of God, they just looked at me and said, after they said everything's fine. She's breathing. She's going to go out together. Yeah. And I think at this point, I'm going to bring Jordan in.
All crafting for you. Yeah.
And my sister is gonna be wearing the baby.
So at this point, we're now, the baby is born, Anissa is born. I'm downstairs now writing her name, Anissa, Ada, Martha, Kensington. I'm writing her name down to make sure, it's all done. And they say to us, Jordan's got up. He obviously gets up. He's like, what's going on? This is like, I'm in the hospital. What's going on? They bring him to me. And I let Jordan tell his part of how he felt and everything else.
So I felt good, and we're going through a lot, but let me tell you something. I'll tell you happy about when Anissa was dead, but I couldn't see her because she was moved so many cables all around, so I couldn't see her. Her name is Anissa, Kensington, Martha, Ada.
There you go. And you went through, as a child, when you have parents that go through prom, right? Jordan was only 3 years old. We actually celebrated his birthday in London whilst all this was going on. I had to get them to come to London and celebrate his birthday. As a child going through all of this, their children also feel like, he obviously, how did you feel going through this pregnancy?
A little bit feeling sad but good.
Yeah, so there were sad moments through the journey, right? And you had to mature up because seeing your mom bleeding all the time, going through the hospital every single time, sometimes staying at home and not being able to go to the hospital, being in another country in Paris, it was a little bit hard for you as well, right? Yeah.
You've been through a lot
You've been through a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And how would you say you coped? And what was your coping mechanism? What did you do to make you survive?
To make me survive, I just pray to God, say, God, please help me. And then on day, my mom was just right with me, playing gospel music, praising God. And then on the day doctors were picking me up, and then Anita just came out mommy's belly.
That's exactly
And
what
then I couldn't go to see her because she was bleeding and she was with so many cubes, Anissa.
Definitely. So the story doesn't stop, as Jordan said, the story doesn't stop when Anissa was born. So Anissa is born now, we're all excited. But Anissa has to stay in hospital. We can't, it's not like a normal pregnancy. This is PPROM.
And I haven't seen her yet.
You haven't seen her yet.
Yes.
We can't take her home. And Sarah also has to be hospitalized because they have to do further checks on
to
her.
make sure I have no infections, because after sending my placenta to the laboratory for a check, they say I was starting to have an infection. That's why the label started.
Yeah.
So we thank God this infection didn't start and didn't affect the baby or myself. But they still have to keep me a week in the hospital to make sure that I had nothing happening after giving birth.
Definitely. So the baby is now still in Port Royal. She is in a special unit, and you know the nurses there were. I've got to give it up for the nurses. They were amazing. She's got all these tubes helping her breathe. She's got tubes going down.
Yeah, she's intubated. I think that's the worst thing
Yeah.
you can expect to see in your life.
Yeah.
The small baby. She was tiny. She was born 2 kilo.
Yeah.
300 grams. Like, you see her intubate from her nose, machine that make her vibrate like this because they have to ventilate her body, giving her oxygen. So remember, she's born without liquid, so her lungs were small. They weren't big enough to make her breathe on her own. So all of those machines, they were helping her to grow her lungs, to make everything growing inside her. And we thank God, after 8 days of being intubated, they decided to put her on the normal oxygen mask.
Yeah.
So after 8 days of going through sedation, intubation, she was alive, but she couldn't react because she's sleepy most of the time.
She couldn't speak.
Yeah, she couldn't cry or anything because she.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour la bonne, félicitations.
Alors, votre petite fille, elle a un tubé. D'accord. Ok. Vous parlez bien français?
Oui, je parle français.
Hop. Là, voilà.
So, as I said, she's intubated and she's been intubated for 8 days. She's born at 33 weeks plus 4 days. So she's not a severe premature, but she is still premature. Because when you're born before 37 weeks, you're premature. And all of those cables on her, she had something in her veins too that they were using to feed her. It was a lot to see, a lot. And honestly, my heart was broken every time I was looking at her. I was just crying because you're just coming out of this world and all of this is happening to you. It's like, I think any parent in the world can't see a baby in this situation. It's like it was too difficult to see her in this situation. So days were long. Everything was long. Everything seemed so long. So 8 days intubated. We thank God it wasn't more than that. Then after that, they put her under oxygen mask. So they were still feeding her by a cable that was inside her mouth all the way to her stomach because she didn't have the suctions habit yet or any of this. After that, we were able to see her. But not my son yet because my son has to go and see a psychologist
Yeah.
before. So to tell him what he's about to see and how it's gonna happen and he's only allowed to come once a week for less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Tu parles français bien maintenant?
Oui.
Qu'est-ce que tu peux dire en français?
Bonjour.
Ouais.
How do you say how are you?
Comment?
Comment ça va?
There you go, you see?
How do you say my name is Jordan?
Je m'appelle Jordan.
See?
Yeah.
See, you know, you've been teaching,
That's a
you've been
big
teaching a
jump.
lot of French. Yeah.
How do you say I'm 4 years old? She?
4.
Good.
See, at this point, everybody still thinks Sarah's pregnant. But fortunately, nobody knows she's already given birth already.
For now, more than 18 weeks.
Yeah. And you know, let's tackle this, right? We had to keep it a secret, right? You know, obviously Anissa was born on 24th of August 2024, but by the grace of God, the reason why we kept it a secret is because you know, she was born preterm and she's had to be in the hospital with, you know, going through a lot. You know, by the grace of God, she's a very strong girl and God has helped her and she's extremely better.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do have to keep blessings a secret and let God do the work. You know, sometimes it's not about just announcing to everybody, because it's not about everybody, it's about the child. And you know, and I always say,
And you have 2 children.
That's it, 2 children. And I always remember the story of Jesus when Jesus was born. There's a reason why he was born in a manger and he was hidden by everybody.
Jesus was born in Bethlehem because there was no room, and then the Pharaoh said, the naughty Pharisees said, ask people to travel back to their land so I can count them. So I can count how many people.
That's true, because he was trying to get to Jesus, because the Pharaoh was jealous of Jesus because Jesus is the king. So the Pharaoh was trying to hurt Jesus. That's why.
And then the Pharaohs tried to forgive our sins.
I love that. I love that. That is so true. That play about. Right. So this is Paris. For those who think Paris is romantic, this is what Paris is about. You know, I remember the first time I came to Paris, I saw someone burning corn on the road. Someone was burning corn in the station. I ain't gonna lie.
Gardena was the worst place.
I mean, I didn't think that was romantic, to be honest.
Have you seen Paris by night? No, because you don't want to.
You know something? This is enough for me. You know, I'm not dissing Paris all the way, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Paris is Paris. We are getting close to the hospital. What's the hospital called, babe? Port Royal Hospital. We can say it now. The nurses and the doctors have been amazing in this hospital. One of the best. I'm going to stop filming in a minute, but I'll show you guys. This is it right here. That's the hospital right there. That's where Nisa is. It's like... It's Port Royal, which is a hospital, which is basically a hospital. Ouais, tu peux passer par là-bas. Ouais. The security light listed entry. So this is one of the most prestigious hospitals when it comes to maternity, right? So and healthcare for kids, you know. So we're going to be going there. There's some security on see the Anisas. Look at the excitement. Excitement in Jordan's face. Security is like, it's all good. Now we're walking in.
Au bout là-bas vers l'escalier. Vous voyez l'escalier là-bas? Ouais. S'il vous plaît.
So that's us walking through. I remember the last time we walked through here was when we came straight from the plane.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing. Merci, monsieur.
Merci beaucoup.
All right, let's go. All right then. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Whoa. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and then 4.
toi, Jordan?
Let's go for this.
Comment? Ah bah tu lui fais la bise. Elle m'a fait bizarre de revenir en Jordan, il cherche. Non, mais pas pour So who is this, Jordan?
Alisa.
Who is Alisa? You can only see her with the mask. You okay, babe?
Sounds in hindsight when you're talking about it, sounds like, oh, this is just a story. But when you're going through it in real life, every single morning, it's even when the baby is still, we're still going through. Our hearts are still beating. Right? We can't even talk about it with anybody else. Still in Port Royal Hospital. Yes. She's still going through all of this in Port Royal Hospital. And, you know, it came the day that they said to her, you know, she's done so well here. She can now be transferred to another hospital.
So she was being hospitalized in this special unit that's called reanimation, because the baby that's in this service is like they all going through severe problems. So they said from the 24th to the 19th of September, 24th August to 19th of September, she was in reanimation. So she was going for oxygen, and then these things they're trying to open her lungs all the time, so they were sending her a lot of oxygen for her to inhalate it in opening her lungs, to force her lungs to get open. And after the 19th, she was doing so well that they asked us, they told us, listen, this unit is for babies.
Hardcore cases.
Baby in needs, so we don't feel like she needs us anymore. So from that day, they sent us, they called us at home. It was 10 in the morning. They say, we're going to transfer you today at 12. You need to come back. You need to come now. The emergency are on their way. So as soon as you arrive, we will transfer her in the hospital.
Now we go to the hospital, Port Royal, and we say goodbye to everybody. We had such an amazing, team there. I filmed all of them. Just like people were in tears. Like it was so. Unfortunately, we don't have the content because we lost those files. But this is how life is. But it was great to kind of get everybody's reaction. And then I was in the ambulance. I actually walked. I was with Anissa in the ambulance. I also filmed the whole ambulance trip and everything with the ambulance. And Jordan and Sarah were at Saint Joseph Hospital, Saint Joseph, which is funny because Sarah's maiden name before she got married is Joseph. Sarah Joseph. And so it's funny that in all the next hospital was Hospital Saint Joseph. And then we got there, and Anissa was taken into Hospital Saint Joseph. Now was the next part of our journey, trying to make sure Anissa could be checked out of hospital, right? So
from the 19th of September, they took her back in this hospital. So when she left Port Royal, she has this small, they call it lunettes, but it's like a small oxygen.
Yeah.
But because she's been through a lot from the transfer to this, they had to put her back under oxygen.
Yeah.
And they left her like this for a week. In my head, I'm like, oh no, we're stepping back forward again.
Yeah.
Because no, she came without oxygen.
And they have to do it again.
Back, yeah. In my head, I'm like, oh no. That every time you see them putting the oxygen, you feel like it's a step back again.
Yeah.
When you were going, everything was going so well. So they leave her a full week with the oxygen without taking it off.
Don't forget, while you're breastfeeding as well, there's also something called bradycardy, which these are all stuff that I was making mistakes calling it Bacardi, but it's called bradycardy. I think that's the French term. I don't know what the English term is. Maybe it's the same in English. It's
when the heart of the baby drops. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, like, because they're so immature, because they're all premature babies at that time, the heart will just drop all of a sudden while they're sleeping. At the beginning, it was while she's sleeping. So they had to wait until she stops doing it while she's sleeping to transfer her to Saint Joseph. Because it's like apnea of sleep. So if you do apnea, it's risky.
Yeah.
So she stopped it. So now, remember, they encourage you to breastfeed your baby the whole time during this whole journey, because there is nothing more important that you make at that moment for the baby. It's their own medicine at that moment. So you have to pump your milk 8 to 10 times a day to have enough supply for the baby. So now we're going through the part where every time she's drinking, she will vomit, she will, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
So now we're at Saint Joseph. She's under oxygen, but while she's under oxygen, it's a small oxygen, it's like a very small one, but it's still helping her. We have to teach her how to breastfeed without any help.
People going inside her,
Yeah.
pumping milk into her. Obviously, she didn't want that. It was quite
She was grabbing it all the time.
uncomfortable. She was just trying to grab it all the time. So, Sarah had to teach her how to take her milk, breast milk, because breast milk, at the end of the day, God has made you with all the nutrients that the baby needs. A baby that's preterm, which is premature, is not ready for that yet. So you have to teach them.
So she has to do all the growing part outside the
Yes, yeah.
So we forgot about it, because every time I was like ready to take her home, but I forgot that she wasn't full term yet.
Yes,
because at this time we're still counting in weeks. So she was 33 weeks when she arrived, and when she left at 40 weeks.
Yeah.
The same day of her 40 weeks, she left the hospital.
It's me and baby Anissa. It was a week. See? That's how it goes. Thank God.
We're still in Paris. I'll show you how gloomy the weather is. The weather is so gloomy. It's like, I think I need to leave Paris for Spain, because, and I tell you, a month ago the weather was better than this, but the weather now is Paris weather. You don't know whether it's going to be cold, hot, or gloomy. But today is like this.
Only God choose.
Yeah, that's true, to be honest.
If it's cold or hot or sunny, only God chooses that.
That's actually true. Yeah, only God knows, and only God chooses whether it's cold, hot, or sunny.
Yeah.
It's a good take. Right.
Mama.
We came at the right time, didn't we?
You look good, babe.
Are you?
You okay?
Mom,
You okay?
let me tell you something that
Good, let me show the people
Show what people?
how you look good. Let me show them.
Mom, can I tell you something that you never
Tell me, baby. Look at this man here.
Do you know, if the trees are broken, it's God who decides it.
Of course, he's God.
If it's raining, it's God who decides it.
That is true.
If it's not raining, it's God that decides it.
That is true.
Can you see the road? Okay, do it. Let me see this, babe. Let me
What?
zoom on it.
I'll zoom too much. You're gonna find it. You're gonna find the grass.
You look good, babe. Come on, Chico. mieux. Celui-là?
God is the best God.
Tu veux te faire?
Ouais. Oh, on continue.
Mom!
Attends.
Mom!
C'est vrai?
I'll tell you something.
Tell me.
That Mom,
Yes, baby.
you know armies of God exist.
Of course it is.
Mom,
I missed you, Jordan.
I miss you too, but I want a really...
That's the song Joseph Church. What?
I want
Jordan's French is so fluent now, it's crazy.
to do that.
It's too good.
Oh, Anita, I love you so much. Mom, do you know?
Listen, baby, listen.
Let me pray now.
Okay, go pray for her.
In the name of Jesus, you say in the Bible, the one who don't listen to you, the one who's sinning. The one that listens to you, the one is not sinning. In the name of Jesus, Anissa, my sister, is in the hospital, and they have doctors saying that she's not breathing well, but she's breathing well. In the mighty name of Jesus, when you say it's time for us to go to Egypt, South Africa, we will go. We love you, God.
Love you, girl. That's very good, my boy. That's very good, my baby.
That's good prayer.
But we can't shout it because baby is sleeping there. Eat daddy's jumper. You know what we can give her?
This one the real deal. We'll try again. So we are here
Again?
and we are on our way to the other day, which is next to Port Royal. What can I say?
Montparnasse.
Today is Sunday school.
Montparnasse.
Montparnasse, is that what it's called?
Montparnasse.
Montparnasse.
Okay. Yeah.
Technology.
And I was talking about how I lost 3 hours worth of video content. I told them 3 hours worth of video content. We're doing this documentary inspiring. We can't talk about it now. We're going to talk about it soon. But we lost 3 hours worth of content. And I was saying
It was an important one.
it was important content as well. Like, you know, she knows the content. It was like stuff that was in there was important. And I was saying for 2 days I felt away. I'm not going to lie. But then I said, you know, if you feel a way about losing stuff, it kind of puts you apart from God.
That's true.
Because you start now thinking about that stuff more than your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Which what happens is you're already blessed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of blessings happening in your life. And I feel like sometimes you don't focus on the blessing. Even if you got distractions, I feel like you got to focus on the blessing.
Yeah, like now.
Like we're blessed right now. Do you know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. And honestly, we will have more content. And
We will definitely
as
have more
important
content.
as this one.
We'll definitely have more content.
In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have...
Awesome boy. What's
in
going
2
on?
weeks' time, we're going to have better content.
Yeah, no, honestly, we do. Even if we don't, it doesn't matter.
It's God's plans. And
It's God's plan.
busy to appreciate the moment.
Well, this is what I'm saying. You know? John, do you want to add to that? Okay, that was a good addition.
You know, add something to this?
That was actually a good addition. It's the best thing you could have said. Let's start in the ceiling. tell them what's going on?
So, Anissa just finished breastfeeding, and we're waiting for her bottle. How do you call it? Feeding bottle.
Yeah.
So she can finish her lunch actually. And then we have plans.
How many weeks is Anissa now?
On Tuesday she's gonna be 40 weeks. So what does it mean 40 weeks? It means full-term baby.
Yes, full-term baby.
And this is the second hospital. This is Hospital Saint Joseph.
Yeah.
And how long has she been here for?
Very good question. I think 3 weeks now. 3 weeks now. Yeah. She's done 3 weeks in Port Royal, and now she's been 4 weeks.
She can count.
Yeah, because she's born at 33 weeks. So it makes sense. I'm a baby. She's born at 33 weeks plus 4. She was 2 kilo 400, and now she's 3 kilo 300. She's growing.
Wow. And she's been through it. She's been through a lot.
She's been through a lot.
Look at Anissa, guys.
This is the proud brother.
I'm the proud brother, and welcome. The hospital name is Saint Joseph, and and this my sister, and this is the hospital.
Anissa's hospital. You know what I like about this hospital? It comes with a church, right?
Yeah.
You can see the grounds below. I don't know if you can.
Guys.
Anissa.
She's a cutie pie. This is me, and I'm George Saint Joseph. So the other hospital, the name was Royal, and this one is Saint Joseph. It's part of my mom's name. No, it's part of my mom's name because it's Saint Joseph. So it's part of my mom's name.
So the day was the 7th of October, and we walk into the hospital. Sarah has been in the hospital now. Literally, she's been sleeping with baby Anissa, and that's the best thing she could ever do. She's not taking her eye off, because sometimes when you have a baby in those situations, mother's working, dad is working, nobody has time to go and see the bed. Sarah was focused on making sure she didn't leave that hospital from when that baby walked in until the baby walked out. Doctor walks in now, and after doing the final checks and everything else, she says, "You're free to go," as you can see here.
She's free to go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
There you go. How do you feel?
Very good. Tomorrow is the big day.
How do you feel?
Yeah, tomorrow is a big day.
There you go. Now, we weren't free to go yet, obviously. It was the 7th of October. It was the next day. The next day was the 8th of October that I came to the hospital to meet Sarah. And yeah,
It's the celebration.
That was
day.
a celebration day.
Honestly, it was the best day of my life. I
Yeah,
think. I'm
me
not
too.
gonna lie.
Me too, to be honest.
Honestly, all the relief. I couldn't sleep the day before because I was so super excited about what was coming. Like, I couldn't close my eyes. I was just like happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so we packed all our stuff. We thanked God and we prayed for Anissa. We walked out of that hospital and we went straight to get Anissa's picture. And while we were trying to get a picture, she couldn't. She was sleeping. She was literally like, guys, it's day one of me being outside the hospital. Let me sleep. So we're trying to get her up, and we managed to get her up, get a picture. Went to the town hall and got her passport done because obviously we need to get out. We're still in Paris as we speak now. We got our passport done.
Now we're going out to pick up Anissa out from the hospital. I'm very, very, very happy.
Yay! Good morning. It's the 8th of October 2024 and we are on our way to the hospital. What are we going to be doing today, Jordan?
We're going to be picking up Anissa to go to home.
Yep, we're going to be picking up Anissa to bring her home. It's been a long journey after like 6 months. So we're going to meet with my wife Sarah and Anissa, and we'll be bringing Anissa home for the first time. We've been all excited. We're still in Paris, so we're bringing her home in Paris, and obviously we'll take her to London soon as well. So yeah, it's been exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on our way to the hospital now.
I love you.
Love you too. 50%. You know where you're going, Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. See who's behind you. Go on, keep going. Go on then.
Non, ça va.
Go. Bonjour. Go.
Boss and kid. Let's go see my sister.
Bonjour. How are you?
How are you, baby?
I'm good, I'm good.
Jordan, you good?
Anissa. Hi, Anissa. How are you? How are you? You going out today? You going out today? She knows she's going out. You know you're going out today?
This hospital, okay? It's for you. Les piles, en fait,
Oh,
j'ai trouvé plusieurs fois, ils fonctionnent. Mais il est tout nouveau, regarde. J'enlève même ça. Mais maybe we will. Il peut le réparer avec son papa.
Yeah.
Yes?
Say
Okay.
thank you so much.
You're
Merci.
welcome. It's for you. I with Jordan. Put here.
You're gonna be a real doctor now.
Yes.
Wow.
Will be a doctor? Yes, for kids.
Yeah.
Good guy. Alright. It's for you. You can see like this.
Oh
Check
wow.
on Anissa at home.
That's amazing.
It's for
You
you.
never forget that.
You're so lucky, Jordan.
Very lucky.
Good.
That's amazing. He will love this.
Oh, il est trop content, vous savez pas là.
Il aime les choses comme ça.
Trop bien.
Are you
Mais je pense
excited?
qu'il peut le réparer. Il y a les piles. Moi, j'ai fait tomber, donc j'ai pas le temps de le réparer. Ce sera pour toi. Mais oui, il y a les piles, elles fonctionnent. Il y a tout qui fonctionne, mais je l'ai fait tomber. Je pense qu'il y a peut-être un faux contact.
Super, merci.
Yes, thank you.
See here. See in the.
See inside.
Look at it. See inside. She. Oh.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
like this. Oh, you
Oh,
know
wow.
it. Oh,
Oh, wow.
good. And the eyes, you can see.
Wow, that's the doctor. That's the real doctor.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're a good guy. Okay?
Merci beaucoup, Mariam. Thank you very much.
Au revoir, Anissa. Bon retour à toi. Bon retour à toi. C'est un plaisir en tout cas.
Super, changez rien, franchement.
Avec grand plaisir, vraiment.
Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup.
Sinon, on irait chez les adultes. Yes, you will be a doctor of kids. Yes. Yes, you are with my friends, my better friends. Okay? My best friends. It's you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Bon retour à vous.
Merci beaucoup.
Profitez-en bien, ça passe vite le temps là. Et après, elle va
votre
courir comme ça. Oui, elle va vous rendre folle comme ça. Mais avec autant de bonté et ouais, exactement. Exactement. C'est tout ce qui est beau.
Merci beaucoup.
Profitez-en bien. Bon retour à vous.
Merci beaucoup.
Prenez soin.
Merci beaucoup.
Take
Merci.
care of Anissa and your parents, and you take care of you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day. Bon retour.
Merci beaucoup.
That's so nice.
That's so nice of her. Jordan, how come you come to the hospital and you leave over presents?
You're lucky, Jordan.
Ça, c'est sur les congés. Ça, c'est pas comme je dis, allez voir. On reste vraiment dans
Sarah's milk being handed back. And we're just packing it now, and we'll be off any minute from now.
You still want a drink from here?
I'm going to take a picture. Hi, Anaïs.
On est trop contents d'ailleurs. Come baby.
Anaïs has been very... Oh, is we're doing it here? Okay.
Come here in the middle, Jordan. There we go. Jordan, on le voit ou pas?
Okay.
Okay, Anissa. Okay.
Oh, we're going to get the baby.
Hey.
Anissa. Anissa.
Anissa.
C'est où est-ce qu'on va, Anissa? Dans la maison.
Papa, Anissa.
We go. We go, my girl.
Anissa's about to go home. Let's go. What do we need to get from her? Oh, merci beaucoup.
C'est gentil. Merci d'avoir veillé sur elle. Et merci à tous
Merci à vous
équipes.
pour votre super présence auprès d'elle.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
C'est gentil. Merci pas si on est prêts. On est prêts. On est prêts.
Just getting a passport photo done. Cynthia, so we've just come out of getting a picture, passport photo. We're going home. It's been a long day. We've got the passport, the flight. We thank God, and we're going home now. And I just want to take this moment to say thank you, God, because every single thing that's happened so far has been a blessing and a miracle. So,
A miracle is a big word. Because
big
that-
word.
It's been the word of the whole journey.
Yes. And this is like the final chapter, taking Anissa home. It's a final. I know we're not in London. We're taking her home in Paris, but I'm still
Next
taking her
home.
home.
Yes.
I'm still taking her home because Paris is like a, I think, third home.
Nah, not even a home, babe. Don't make it a home. Don't make it a home.
Yeah.
She's born there, so we've
I mean,
always been.
These two are Parisians, huh?
No, this one is a Mauritian. Huh?
Yeah, it's a Mauritian. Yeah, it's true.
This one is a Parisian.
That's what's a Parisian. You
Everyone
know?
has his own.
On a serious note, there's a lot of people going through this right now, and I remember when we were going through it, Sarah will attest, she was
I was crying every day.
crying every day, looking for other people that were going through prom. And this is things that as society we don't talk about. We just celebrate the good times. Hey, baby is born. Nobody talks about the difficulties that mothers go through, the difficulties that fathers go through. And in this issue, is something that it's outside of your control. No amount of money in the world can help you when you're in that kind of desperate situation, or you're going through prom.
Anything with baby health related is so difficult.
We prayed. We prayed. I prayed. Jordan prayed. Sarah prayed. We were praying every single day, and everything you see today is a miracle. Know what the story was.
No.
And a lot of people that know me, you know, they were like, "What's going on, Jordan? You're not yourself." But this is why, because we were going through for March. So
we had to keep it a secret.
we had to, and so March we've been going through unbelievable challenges. You know, to make sure Anissa came. And I always say, you know, through God everything is possible. Through God every single thing is possible. Through prayers everything is possible. For kneeling down on the floor and praying, humble yourself. Humble yourself. We had to humble ourselves and say we don't know nothing. God will do it for us. And to be here on this day, I can only remember us landing here from Paris and rushing straight to the hospital, even making it through the airport with Sarah bleeding 24/7, just continuously bleeding. And all the doctors, I said to Sarah, I said, I've got a vision from God. He said the doctors will say, how did this miracle happen? This is just a miracle. Doctors were coming to us on a daily basis saying to us, let's give up. In every country you were,
they say in 48 hours it's gonna be done anyway, so you
might as well give up.
Make your mind like
meaning that from early they said to us we should be ready. Let's just give up. Let's not try and fight for Anissa. We fought for this girl. And God saw that, you know, our hearts were fighting, and we give all praise and thanks to God, our Father in heaven, for blessing us with Anissa. We can't thank God enough. It's not just a celebration. It's a glory to God. That's it.
Because without God, nothing would have been possible.
Nothing would be possible.
Control of anything.
Nothing.
You have to be strong, but not strong like just mentally. You have to be strong in your prayers.
100%.
Because only God will do.
100%.
Doctors are working through God, so you can believe in doctors if you want to, but they are working through God. So if you don't pray for the doctor to be able to heal your daughter or to help you the whole pregnancy, it won't work. So you have to pray and stay strong.
Especially when you have this kind of pregnancies, life and death.
Yeah.
You're going through all the stuff.
We have arrived. We are home. That is on mission.
Doing like 10 things different. That's good. So you guys can go.
Let's go, my son. Show me the way. Thank you, baby. We didn't do it. God did.
God did.
God did.
Hey, look at Sarah and the baby. Congratulations, babe.
Yeah. Feel like paparazzi.
I can go all around the world. I still got my eyes on you. But it don't matter what they do. I still got my eyes on you. Every little step that you take, shorty knows the rendezvous. It don't matter what God do. You know I'm coming.
This is the best
day ever.
I'm coming. 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm coming. Working all week just to get paid. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm coming. I can
Ouais, ça va ou quoi? Ça va et toi?
T'es à l'hôpital?
Non. Ah. Tu vas bien? Tu fais quoi?
Ah oui, t'as trop de suspect. Comment tu m'as regardé là?
Non.
Non, c'est la coach du bébé.
T'as dit quoi?
T'as l'air trop suspecte là. Y a
Non,
quoi?
regarde, je suis dans une maison. Je suis posée.
Tu vois ton alentour là?
Hi.
I miss you.
Me too.
Il est déjà avec toi le bisou?
Ouais, t'as vu? Regarde, say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
Accouché quand, wesh?
Il y a 1 mois et demi.
Arrête.
Je te jure.
Tu mens.
Je te jure.
C'était folle.
Oh. Ah, Ibu. Always hang off, Ibu.
Ibrahim, il fait que de raccrocher,
Je
wesh.
sais. Regarde, Ibrahim.
Anissa.
C'est Anissa, Ibrahim.
Merci, Elsa.
I'm so shocked.
You're shocked?
Elle est née il y a 1 mois et demi.
So, you shocked that how the
Ouais.
Ça a des cheveux, ça monte.
T'as vu?
Regarde un monsieur là.
Ah, mommy. I know, mommy. You know what we've been through, mommy.
We've been through a lot.
Mommy. Thank you so much, mommy.
God has done it.
Thank you so
God
much,
has done
mommy.
it. Mommy, this is Anissa Ada Mata. Her grandmother, Ada, and Grammy Mata.
Honestly, I would. I'm telling you, mommy. I'm telling you, mommy. Yeah, I know, mommy. Mommy only knows. Thank you. Thank you, mommy. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
We thank God. We thank
Mommy, you know she's 1 month and a half.
You 1 month
She's
and a
born
half.
already for a long time now.
It's your progress. We thank God.
I'm telling you. If you knew, Mommy.
If you knew,
the
miracles that God has done.
She just left the hospital today, Mom.
She left the miracles. This child, even the doctors are saying it was pure miracle. All the doctors are saying miracle. Miracle.
Yes.
Miracle.
You know, Mommy. You know what we've been through.
You know.
You're telling you now.
So I'm telling you.
Is it not even the other day I was telling Jordan, I dreamt a small girl that I was holding my hand.
That's what I said. I had to say it true.
Expecting it in October.
Yes, we were in the hospital. They took her in. In literally 10 minutes, I was walking in. The baby was coming out.
Oh my God. The Lord is great.
The God is good. God is good.
I'm just going to go and drink my wine. I'm just going to go and drink my wine. That's all I can do. What else can I do?
We thank God. We thank God. You know.
Sarah was able to enter the plane and get to France. And
while bleeding.
We love you too much.
We love you,
God.
God.
This morning prayer for me.
Yes.
I was saying to God that I said all the things that I've asked you has been done.
It's been done already. It's been done already.
That was the prayer.
It's been done already.
Everything I'm asking you, it is done.
It's done. All is done.
When I always say, God, give one thing, do this.
It's done already.
Everything is done. That was my point of prayer this morning.
And it was true.
So I never ever asked God for anything today. I just said. When I finished saying that, then I said, this is a revelation.
Yes.
Yes, I said to myself, this is a revelation.
Yes.
That how did I prophesy that everything that I've been asking has been done?
Because it has been done already. We thank God.
God.
God is good, oh mommy. God is good. The miracles.
We have to read it.
The miracles.
We are starting the celebration. And it's more of our own celebration.
I'm telling you.
Abba. I was saying you didn't come to that house. I was saying that this is how. Well done.
Thank you, mommy. We thank God, oh. We thank God. We thank God. We thank God. We thank God. We thank God.
That's tough. Then Sarah is a Hebrew woman. I never seen anybody like that one. Strong, like
yeah, that's Sarah. She said never see anyone like you. I'm telling you. That she be stronger.
Who will support that? Nobody.
I said, I'm telling you.
Strong man of God. Strong man of God.
All right, mommy.
We are in the college. We came to do some lectures here, so optimists.
No worries.
We are going up to the house now for celebration.
We'll talk now. All right, mommy. God bless her.
Tears are coming out of my eyes.
All right. God bless, mommy.
Could you let her, Mommy?
God bless, Papa. God bless, girl.
God bless.
The Hebrew woman, the Egyptian woman, your great grandfather is Hebrew. Jesus' name.
We thank God.
I'm not lying. You are Hebrew. You are Hebrew. No, you don't pass
Mommy. God.
All right, bye bye.
All right, Bobby. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
جبت ميه ورجعت بالعافيه بتاعك.
Say hi, Tita.
Hi, Tita.
Anissa.
يا رب عملت لك عليه وانت فاهم في البيت ولا؟
أنا في البيت.
وملا شكل جوجو كلها.
كم جردن؟
كم جردن زي جوجو بالضبط. يا عسل نشكرك يا رب ما تفهمنا الشكر.
ماما أجي لأم وايد مي في الأوبيتال.
الحمد لله.
أقول لك الحكاية. فاكرة اليوم اللي قلت لها ببص على كوكو اتخلفت فيه اليوم ده.
يوم؟
أيوه.
ما في الستاسيون خفوا. نشكرك يا رب ويا كويس
C'est la petite Anissa. Bah oui, c'est la petite Anissa. T'as vu?
Avec les mains, t'as vu tout ça.
T'as vu?
Ça vaut le coup.
Ça va, papa? Elle a 1 mois et demi, papa. Ça fait 1 mois et demi qu'elle est née.
Non,
je te jure.
We're here now with Anissa. This is Anissa.
Here we go, my girl. After a month and a half in the emergency, going through a lot, she's finally home with her family, and we're all happy and grateful to God for her health now. She's been like just less than 4 days out, but she's doing so well. She's like hungry. She eats a lot.
She eats a lot.
Eats a lot, guys. She eats a lot.
But so she's like
good.
She's just getting used to her environment. She went out for the first time yesterday. She's like coping very well with the outside world, and we're so grateful to God because honestly, without prayers, importantly, without prayers, because even doctors are working through God. So if you don't pray that God blesses and help those doctors to go to help your daughter or your child to getting better, it's not gonna work. You have to pray. And honestly, the whole journey is not about science, it's not about how doctors are amazing, it's just about when you pray, nothing is impossible for God. And remember, everything started from 10 weeks, 15 weeks, she has no liquid for 18 weeks. 18 weeks. So look at her. She's amazing, she's growing, she's beautiful. We just have some to do. It's fine, we're just working on her on small position that need to be fixed, and it won't affect her life actually. You know. We thank God.
We thank God.
Thank God because God, without God, nothing will be possible.
Definitely. And you know, it's funny things. I had a dream where God said to me, one day the doctors will speak to your wife or speak to you guys and say to you guys, I can't believe this was a miracle. And when that happened, when I had that dream weeks and weeks and weeks ago, I texted Sarah the dream. And one day I was sat at home here in Paris, and Sarah calls me up and she was like, I've just gone to the doctors and they asked me how Anissa was doing. The doctors who were in, you know, and they were like, you know, honestly, your case is a miracle. Your case is a miracle. And this matched the dream weeks ago. I said, again, for anyone going through this situation, all of this will not be possible without God. And this just shows you the power of God. And I'm talking about our Heavenly Father of light and love, who has been there, the pre-existing 100%. And I thank Yeshua, I thank God, and this has been a blessing. This has been a blessing, and we're here now, and this is here now, all families together.
And just to complement what my husband was saying, the doctor, this professor called me just because I studied this case. She said to me, I've never met you, but I know your case very well.
A lot of people know the case.
There's been a lot on the case, and actually the university and the hospital together. So and this professor called me to have a meeting. I thought it was a follow-up meeting, but actually she just asked me, can you explain to me about the circumstances, because they were studying that case.
Yeah, they're studying.
For them, it's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, they had like. I told them. I asked her, "Do you have a lot of these cases by year?" She said, "No. People that have rupture of membrane are 35, 37 weeks, but for them it's fine because the baby has grown already."
Yeah.
But at that
early
stage, and she said, "You did well not to listen to her." She's told me that.
Do you listen? He said, you did well not to listen to us, the doctors.
She said, this is a miracle baby.
That's the
coming
dream
from a doctor.
God gave us. This will be a miracle. And that's how I want to end this vlog, this amazing vlog, to say, God will do miracles in your life. And if you don't believe in God, I tell you, use this as a testimony, because this is a testimony to believe in God. You don't want to know what we went through here, but you know what? I just thank God for everything, because He has been completely in charge. So thank you for watching. Oh, thank you, Julia.
And we pray for all of you guys that you're experiencing the same things that we did. We hope that you find a few answers to your case. I was looking for people going through the same thing when I was pregnant with this lack of liquid, and I couldn't find positive testimony. I found a few ones, but you found 20 bad and 2 good. But we are one of those good ones. Everything will be well. Just keep on praying, keep your faith high, and you will see everything will happen.
God will take you through.
Yes,
God will take you through.
you through.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye bye.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Come on, babe.
We did it.
Come on, Dad.
We did it. We did it.
Come on, Daddy.
Love you.